Welcome back to Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA. Today's episode powered by Hayabusa. It's all about the Philly shell and how effective is it in mixed martial arts. All right, in today's episode, we're talking and breaking down the Philly shell. I get the question a lot is how effective is the Philly shell in MMA? Now, this is a long-winded answer, so I'm going to try to give it to you in a more summarized version and rant a little bit about the Philly shell. So the main thing is it effective in MMA? Absolutely it is. Those who use it in the Philly shell have great results with it. Recently, I just saw a recent video with Tempura using it very well against Josh Emmett. We know different guys who use it very well in the UFC, so there is a benefit to it. And then let's talk about what its benefit and disadvantages are. Now, just like any form of defense, okay, it has its benefits and its disadvantages. So having different forms of defense and offense is very important. So what I mean by this, now I am considered a striker, obviously. Now, if I'm in an MMA fight and I know my opponent wants to take me down, coming in with a high guard, right, isn't really effective because Darrell can get underneath my elbows and it makes it really hard for me to get my underhooks, to develop frames, to be able to create that space. So right away, as a striker now, I don't want to stay in a high guard. So right away, if I come with a Philly shell and I have this low hand threat, already it's going to make the wrestler think a little bit twice because now this hand is ready to occupy that low level space. So just being here alone, getting ready to throw this hand creates that low line threat on the wrestler. So it helps me a little bit, right? So it allows me to maybe stay off, right? Here, easy to invite, right? It's so confident for him to go. Now, if I'm here and I'm pawing here, see, look at this low line jab, right? If I only jab here, look, he gets underneath it. I'm getting taken down. With this low line jab, now he has to get past this, okay, which means his head is coming into that strike. So right away there, good for an underhook, good for a low line threat. It's going to keep him off of me. So yes, right away, that's how I'm going to use the Philly shell. Am I going to stay there all the time? No. For example, right, say Darrell throws a hard jab cross at me, right? If I'm here, I might block here. Then the next time he goes, right, he might come here. He might be using this to set up a takedown. So I'm already getting this hand down. So I can be ready to attack with the underhook here. Okay, so he throws it. Look how I'll change. I might be 1-2, and then I might be in here to defend, right? I have the options to go. So again, the changing of my defense is going to help me. Now, the other thing about a Philly shell, okay, is you don't stand in a square position, right? When you go in a Philly shell, you want to blade your stance so your center line is narrowed, right? So to do that, you need to have a bladed front foot, which means my heel is almost more in a side stance. So you can't touch my body, and I'm here. So if I'm fighting a straight boxer in MMA, yes, that is a great strategy. Narrow my center line, right? He throws a 1-2. Look, I can stay tight. And with this Philly shell in this position, look, I can counter so much better. If I'm high guarded here, right, and I'm defending, it's harder for me to counter punch because my hands are glued to my head. But when I'm here, right, look how much vision I have now to come back and counter, right? And look, it's nice and simple. Boom, I could defend and I can counter with my eyes. But with the bladed stance means the calf kick is open, right? So say Darrell now, I'm here in a Philly, he goes a jab calf kick, right? Boom. I can't stay in this position no more. So what do? Instead of staying here again and taking the calf kick, I need to make an adjustment. So I start squaring up my hips, right? Now when he calves, I have the ability to block. And so if I'm getting kicked in my calf, I have to adjust my stance. So I might go back to more of a high guard, more square hip, right? I might be lead hand out instead of high guarded, but still I'm going to have my hands up at this point, okay? And more square in the hips so I can block. Okay, so let's keep going at it again. Now, again, downside of the Philly shell is the bladed stance. So I need to avoid that, and I make the adjustment for there. Now, the benefits of that Philly shell, like I said, allows you to counter a little bit better and keep your eyes aware. So what we get Darrell doing practicing here is he throws his 1-2, right? And you practice the logical movement, okay? Now, this is one thing that Alex Pereira taught me when he came here into Toronto, and it's a very important one. So what he likes to do is he'll bring a nice high guard pressure on you, and he defends. So if Darrell throws a 1-2 on me, he stays strong. And if he goes hard, you get the guy to hit you nice and hard. Full power, right? You can defend it. And then all of a sudden, boom, you roll it and you're able to counter. So from a high guard, right, you build that confidence like they're going to go. And then I just rolled off and I'm able to counter punch, right? You want to give them the illusion you're there, and then you allow yourself to counter punch after that. Okay, so you can see counter punching becomes more effective. But from the Philly shell, remember, it requires good shoulder position, which a lot of people don't have, and a good understanding of distance and range. Now, you'll see in boxing who use the Philly shell well, a lot of times you see them dipping really low. I don't want my head here if there's kicks and knees involved. So we have to make adjustments to the Philly shell. So say Darrell throws a jab cross hook, right? I don't want to be here dipping my head, so I need to start using some hand catches. So we go here, 1, 2, catch, right? I can go 1, 2, pull out here and still stay sharp. So I got to use different types of defense with different strikes in my Philly shell. All right, so quick little review here. Yes, the Philly shell is effective in MMA if you use it properly. Can you fight the whole fight in a Philly shell? You probably can, but it's probably not the best bet. With everybody becoming well-versed in calf kicks, striking, takedown, it's important to change your types of defense and the type of offense. If I'm only throwing from my head, it's predictable. If I have a loose hand and now I'm fighting off of a Philly shell using feints, it's going to create confusion in my opponent to think, what's he doing? He's changing his guard. What does that mean? Now he's open. It creates different types of offense. So I think it's very important as a striker in MMA, you learn to diversify the lead hand. It doesn't necessarily have to be a full traditional Philly shell. It might be a low guard, low hand here, a mobile, more like Olympic, Soviet, Russian style, right, where you're bouncing in and out with a more active lead hand. You know, there's a little adjustments that you can make from your shell to make it work. But like I said, don't always have one, don't have the other. Mixing between the two has its benefits and has its cons. Just be aware of them, right? The Philly shell protects my body very well. But if someone's not attacking my body, I might not want to be here. I might want to protect my head a little bit more. Are they taking me down or are they not taking me down? Is there a threat? If I'm in a straight stand-up fight, I can play any guard I want. But if I notice takedowns are coming, I might be using movement, more of a lower lead hand. So things change depending, but having the ability to adapt and fight in different ways, defensively and offensively, pressure versus movement, is all part of the sport and the game, okay? So yes, learn the Philly shell a little bit. It's simple, it's basic, right? If used in the right way. If you're gonna sit there and fight like Floyd Mayweather the entire time, I don't recommend it, right? That's why use the Philly shell in moments, mixed with your other traditional types of defense, and that's where you'll find the best benefit of it. All right, so hope this makes sense. Hope you kind of understand it. I can go on for days about this topic, about the details on how to block properly, counter properly from it, but just understand the basics of it and understand how and when to use it, the positives and the negatives. All right, hope you enjoyed today's episode. Make sure you like and subscribe to Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA, the channel. Happy to say we're almost at 100K, so make sure you help me get there as soon as possible. So share with your friends and family and your teammates. So like, subscribe, head over to bazookatraining.com. That's online curriculum taught by me. And every single week you get brand new videos. We have sparring drills, pad work, bag work, tutorials, home drills, endless learning for you with an archive library, but almost up to 600, if not more at this point of time, for less than $10 a month. That's a steal, okay? So make sure you go there. Make sure you support the channel by supporting our sponsors. We have Hayabusa by going to Hayabusa Fight, linked below. Perfect Sports Nutrition, Bazooka 20 will get you 20% off your order. So make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you next week here at Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA. Welcome to Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA online training. I'm Bazooka Joe Valtellini, the owner here at Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA. Over the past year, I've designed and created a website to teach Bazooka curriculum at home and across the world. The purpose of this website is for you to, one, hit your fitness and health goals, all while learning world-class martial arts instruction from me. The beautiful thing about this website, it's geared for all levels. So if you're learning martial arts for the first time as a beginner, we help you progress into the bigger stages. And if you're a pro fighter, guess what? We have different fight concepts for you to improve your tool set and your skills in the ring or cage. As the fastest rising kickboxing world champion and a lifelong martial artist with over 30 years of experience, I've been able to combine my passion for martial arts and teaching to create this website. This website is going to give you some of the tricks, secrets, and inside look at some of the training I use to win my world title. Once you subscribe to this site, you're going to be getting weekly training videos and tutorials that you can do from anywhere. The sections are broken up into 3 parts. The first is bag workout. So if you have a bag at home or at your gym, you can use these workouts to supplement your training. The second is at-home workouts. A lot of us don't have the room for a bag or a bag in general, so these workouts are for no equipment needed and you can do them anywhere. And finally, the tutorial section. If you're having any problems with a specific technique or fight concept that's covered in any of the workouts, go to the tutorial section, learn the technique, and then go back to the workout, and this time, do it with proper technique. One of the added benefits once you subscribe is the forums section, where you can get a more personalized experience where you can ask questions and I'll be able to go in there and answer them. It's all about building a team and a community of martial artists helping each other grow. So subscribe now to get access to all the videos plus more so you can be part of the squad here at Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA.